Yes, I think I am going to be the next James Bond. Hello, Pandora. How are you? Thank you so much for doing this, really.
Well, I felt that it was only right because it's Pandora and Zeus back together again.
Back together again. I play Zeus. You know, that's the so-called king of the gods. But Charlie Cavell, who wrote this, has twisted it. It's in modern times, and I, Zeus, am a kind of a pretender to the throne and a con artist and a charlatan, really, and a megalomaniac and a narcissist, and I'm having a lot of trouble. I'm unhinged. I'm charismatic. People worship me all over Earth, but there are some people, like some of my family members, who are onto my game.
It's so good and such a, as you say, a fresh look on Greek mythology. And I've never seen Zeus played like this, by the way. And I thought you did a brilliant job because you also had a vulnerability. You had, like, you were self-conscious, you were unconfident, and that's not what we think Zeus is. Like, we've got to know him as, like, you know, this strong, cruel, vicious character, but you did completely different.
You are so nice. Yeah, well, I loved it. Charlie Cavell wrote this thing, and yes, Charlie tried to and has successfully and brilliantly humanized it. And they were always a kind of a human version of a story that humans could say, hey, that's us. And as Joseph Campbell says, you know, we listen to them, we read these stories, and we find the rapture in the experience of living, or something like that.
She's very conscious of aging, okay?
Yes.
Maybe more like immortal, but still very conscious of it.
Right.
What would you tell your younger self today if you could go back to your younger self?
You know, there's a great quote by George Bernard Shaw. You know George Bernard Shaw? No. I remember this. It's a few lines. You ready for this?
Go.
He says, "This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose considered by yourself as mighty, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and while I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I cherish life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It's a sort of splendid torch that I've got hold of for the moment. I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations." That's the whole quote, but I love that. And I came upon that later. It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if I had known that and could be talking to my younger self, I might have slipped that into the conversation. Now I've got two kids of my own, 7 and 9, two boys, and Emily and I, and, you know, I'm just trying to do the best I can by them and for them, and you know, if not tell them, model the right way of living, such as I can know.
Okay, right, for last question, my darling.
Yes, my darling.
Love having you here.
I love being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to know, what would you want people to stop asking you? For instance, Kevin Hart said, can please people stop getting me to FaceTime your friends? Idris Elba wants people to stop asking him if he's the new Bond. will.i.am said, please stop asking if his abs are real. What does Jeff want people just to stop asking?
Well,
We've
the
had
last
enough.
two, am I the next Bond and are my abs real? Yes. They got to stop asking that. Why? Except, yeah, well, they are real. So you should know that. And yes, I think I am going to be the next James Bond.
I'm here for it, okay? I'll be your number one fan.
Well,
Make it happen.
I was just talking about it in the car. Hey, we should be in it together. Oh,
there you go.
I think that'd be good. But let me see. What do they really ask me? Oh, you know, I cherish all kind of human contact. You know, what's the cliche? Somebody says, hey, I'll start worrying when they stop asking me this or that. You know, I hunger for human contact.
You're like the nicest person on earth. And that is why we love you.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You are lovely.
This is Heart.